fine's cool and you can live your life being fine, but you could also be great. You know, you can live your life being great. So do I want to be fine and comfortable, or do I want to maybe push and be slightly uncomfortable so that I can be great instead of just fine for now?
This is Champagne is Also a Band podcast. One songwriter, one song. I'm Sven, your host for a journey into the music of Champaign-Urbana. Recorded in the Blue Box studio with a songwriter from the Champaign-Urbana music scene, past or present. Champagne is Also a Band podcast is proud to be a part of the Champagne Showers Podcast Network. Welcome to Champagne is Also a Band podcast. Today, I have Mousepad, and you may know Mousepad from his work with Half House Studios. And so, Mousepad, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So, today we're going to be listening to your song, Fine for Now, off of your album, Right Person, Wrong Time. So, without further ado, let's listen to the song.
Okay.
I think that it is some
Welcome back, Mousepad. My first and favorite question to always ask is, what came first? Was it the music or was it the lyrics?
So because I'm also a producer, a lot of the time I'll make my music with the, beat and everything first. But I'll know the feeling I'm going for when I make it. So it's like I have the idea in mind, but the beat has to match what my thought is so that I can successfully put down into the song, what I intended for it. So I would say the beat.
That's interesting. I'm always curious. Let's just describe a little bit. As a producer, you compose, you produce a lot of music that is, kind of driven by intention, but not necessarily driven by words. Like, what is usually the first step if you're like, I'm going to write a beat today? Or I want to work on a beat today. What is your first step?
My first step would be, I usually try to imagine something. I'll think of the vibe that I want to go for. I'm like, what famous artist could I sell this beat to? And then I'll start making the beat and I'll just sit there and rap nonsense or sing nonsense over it. Because if I can't sing or rap on it in 4 or 5 different ways, then how can I get anybody on it? It might be too complicated kind of thing. So I guess I have an artist in mind when I make it. A lot of the beats I make as well, I just make like in front of the person. So I'll be like, what are we feeling today? What do you want to give off with your music today? And they'll give me a vibe to start with too, which is also super helpful. And the more you know an artist, the easier it is to make music for them. So
what was the feeling that you wanted to go with when you started this?
I worked on that album actually for like 3 years. And so when I make my albums, I like to tell like a story. So it's not necessarily a compilation of songs, but I like to have a full story front to back. Yeah, when I made that song, it was kind of one of those things where a lot of the time I just feel like I'm gliding through, it's fine for now. Like right now it's fine. I can worry about what the consequences are later or like if that's not going to work later. Because a lot of the time I'll get into, whatever it is, whether it be a relationship or, something, and then I'll start to overthink it. And I'm like, well, you know what? It's fine for now. So let's not think about what could be and just exist in, right now.
So you wrote all of the music, the instrumentals behind this entire album, as well as this song. When you write the instrumental parts, are you sitting with like a guitar? Or are you sitting with like a keyboard? I'm curious, like, where does this all start to kind of come together and form into a beat even?
I don't really know how to play instruments super well, but I do know how to like work a computer super well. So I just started, especially with this album, I started out with like tracking the main part, which for the most part is guitar. So I'll make the chord progression for the guitar, slowly start looping things over it until I have like a solid base for my chorus, because I got to know where I'm getting to, I guess. And then I can build up or take down from there. But I'd say, yeah, guitar is probably the first thing that I do, and I don't know how to play it super well, so I attempt like 10 different times to record the 8-bar loop that I need, 8-bar, 16-bar loop I need. And a lot of those, especially in that first verse, like right after the first chorus, I'm like playing each guitar string one by one because I can't like move my fingers to fit the guitar the way it's supposed to.
Wow. Okay. I pictured kind of more of sitting with like an acoustic and coming up with chords and etc. And like, so
I just get straight to the point. I just get straight to the sound design I'm looking for, because I'm not like I said, I'm not an instrumentalist, so I have to do a lot of the editing inside of Ableton. And if I sat there with an acoustic guitar, I probably would never make anything because I don't know how to play it very well.
Well, that's interesting. Like, I'm very curious because, for me, I tend to think about music theory, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to be like, can we geek out about chords for a little bit? And what key this is in, and et cetera, and et cetera. And I am fascinated with, and there's no right answer or right or wrong way. It's just, because in the end, the result is the same. You get something that is a reflection of your intention, of your music. You just think about how it sounds, right?
How it sounds, how it makes me feel. I just kind of pick up the guitar and move my fingers around on it, maybe have like a chord chart pulled up so I can like, you know, get close to what I want, and then I'll move them around a little bit. And like, I understand the music theory, you know, I did band and stuff, so I know what sounds good and what I can use with what, but a lot of the time it's just like a feeling of, okay, this sounds good and it's making me feel how I want it to make me feel. So that's all I needed.
So you started to put together the beat. You have the beat. When did the words come into it? Like, how did you integrate that? And then, so, I mean, you knew that this would be a song when you were generating the beats, that it would be about this idea of, well, it's fine for now. I'll get to it at some point.
So when I make my songs, what I'll do is I'll make the instrumental. I'm a producer, so that's like the foremost. Like, I have to have the instrumental right, and then I will just pull up like a mic, kind of how we're doing it right now, just like right in my face, and I'll just kind of sing over it like several different times, but record it until I have, you know, I'll write down some lyrics that I like. But fine for now, just like, you know, as I'm listening to it, you know, I'm like, fine for now, it's fine. Okay, wait, this could be the chorus part, the catchy, you know, part of the chorus. And then I'll shape my words around that. So I just sing, I demo it, and then I guess for this one, like a year later, I went back and I fixed my like lyrics that I didn't really like, that I just said, and I just re-recorded it so that it was not in demo form. Because my demo, when I do that, I do it with like in front of my desk, but I have a whole booth. So I demo in front of my desk because it's so much work to run back and forth between, you know, it's like, okay, now I sing. Like, I'm always out of breath by the time I get into the booth. So I just demo it, and then I have my roommate, also producer, Whip Trip 6, just record me once I'm ready to record.
You're recording the guitar. You did the bass as well, or was that
bass, drum,
was that synth, or was that a bass?
A bass,
guitar?
bass.
Okay, bass guitar. Okay. Some of the drums sound like they're sampled drums. Is that usually how you?
Especially in that song, half of them are sampled, and half of them is just the like high ends of like real drums, because I already have my kick and I already have my snare. I don't need to blend those, but I have like the high end just so I can get that real drum feel to it, but also it's not like, you know, it's not, but it feels, you know, the emotion of a real drum set is still there.
Would you say that the first verse is, and if we're here, that's where I am? That's kind of, or is that still kind of, because it's using the same kind of chorus chords? I
think the first verse is like once the drums hit and the guitar like goes down to just like the boom 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 boom.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank I stopped the start. That's like the first first verse for me.
That's what I was gonna say, but then I was like, wait, hold on, maybe I screwed that up. Now I kind of see a little bit more of like, you kind of stripped away some of the more heavier hitting spots to kind of differentiate it from the chorus. It's kind of like give it some time to like breathe, and then have the verse come out. One of the things that I was thinking about when I was listening to this song, and here's like me doing a little bit of my interpretations that I was thinking of, and I feel like I just went down a rabbit hole and then said, wait, you know what, forget it, we're gonna do this. One of the things that I was thinking about is when I think of like the subject or the character in the song, like sometimes you can be like, okay, that's the author, that's the specific author person, and I feel like in this you are the author person that is speaking, but I also feel like there's this weird juxtaposition that in the lyrics you create a kind of out of time. I want to say it almost feels like procrastination of existence.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you're talking about the past, or you're talking about something that just happened, or you're thinking about like right now. And I feel like there's that weird feeling as I'm listening to this, like there's a very matter of fact, we're in this moment, but whatever, it doesn't matter. But then it's also a reflection upon what happened, and so I guess that for me, I kept thinking about, it's this weird being the young, inexperienced person, but then also looking back as an older, experienced person, but having them exist at the same time. Yeah. So it's this. I don't know, that it just, maybe it's because of my age. That I think about these things a lot of like, how would I have looked at this at the age that you're at right now? Like when I was much younger, when I was much younger, how would I have thought about this? And then how would I look at it? You know, how do I look at it now? And so to me, this was that kind of exercise, listening to the song and listening to the lyrics. And was there an actual event that precipitated this, or was it, because you said that this took a year to kind of put together and form together. So it's interesting that maybe you started this with a certain thought in much the same way as this song, and then you had a self-reflection back. And so those two elements kind of came together because of that. So I'm curious, is that kind of how it rolled out?
It is based off, I guess, specific things, but it's more of like a cultivation of a lot of different experiences I had with relationships at the time, because I feel like a lot of the time, timing is like everything, especially in a relationship. Like, you could be perfect, but there's just something at that time that is like pulling you apart. It's in that moment, which is kind of what the album is based off of like being with the right person, but there's just certain circumstances that keep it from staying, right. And Fine for Now is sort of like an in your head piece, in the sense of like, when I'm in my head thinking about things and how to react to certain situations, I think about things that have happened, so I don't make the same mistakes. I think about how I'm feeling directly right now, because that's also very important to know what your limits are, what you could do and handle right now. And then I think about the future, because I'm like, all right, if I make this decision, how will it affect me in the future? That's kind of how the song is in the sense, it's like the whole time I'm just in my head thinking about the scenario I'm in before I get into this relationship, where it's like, okay, is this a good idea? Let's think about what happened before. Let's think about what happened right now. Let's think about how I'm feeling right now. Let's think about how this is going to affect the future,
Yeah.
In a way, it's all of those things. Any thoughts I have in my head, I think about. It's like those laying down at night sleep thoughts, where you're thinking about what you did earlier in the day. You're thinking about how you feel about what you did earlier in the day. And then you're like, all right, well, what do I have to do tomorrow? Kind of one of those similar things, but with an exact situation.
The right person, wrong time. I don't know. I guess you could say I don't necessarily regret the choices that I've had in my life, but that thought will haunt you for ever and ever, because it's human nature to wonder, because of our finite existence, to wonder exactly what paths we could have taken or See, now I'm fresh off of chatting, listening to the interview with Zen, so I'm all about thinking about our own existence. You're like in your 20s, right?
Yeah, I'm 25.
Oh, okay.
But I started making this when I was like 21, maybe, and then I put it out when I was 23, 24, 2022.
So what is time? So a year ago?
It's been about 2 years. So maybe 2021 is when I put it out. It's been a lot of music since then, whether by me or other people. So sometimes I forget, but I think it's been a year and a half. I put it out on my birthday, and I think in 2021. So
now I'm going to just tell you what my favorite part of this song is, because it's funny, because I love the energy, but I think the part that gets me, a lot of musicians in their music don't always take the time to let a thought breathe. And I feel like when you have the breakdown where you change key, you actually kind of go into some minors, you use some nice sevenths in there, so your D all of a sudden, instead of having a C sharp, is anyway, sorry, there's that. I did a little analysis.
For the record, I had no idea what I was doing when I did that, but I'm glad that there's some music theory behind what I did.
What sounds good.
Yeah, so I know the feelings that it gives, right?
You did some of those nice turnarounds. I always call them that when I hear like certain sevenths are used. It's like kind of a, okay, here we go. And I feel like you do a nice moment where it was a guitar and drums and bass kind of sound that you had, and then all of a sudden here's almost your contemplative, your like reevaluation moment, where you're just like, and I can't say whether this is like the consequence moment, or it's the just thinking about the consequences moment. So anyway, that's still up in the air, but I love how there's all of a sudden the piano breaks down. There's kind of a calming kind of the ocean calms for a second so that you can look out and you're not overwhelmed by all the other things. You're only overwhelmed by your situation.
Yeah.
To me, that's my favorite moment. And it's really just because it's such a contrast. And instead of the piece continuing on and going forward with it's fine for now, it's fine for now, it's fine for now, you actually start exploring within the piece additional feelings, which I think that gives this piece, instead of it feeling like a pop song, it feels like it has a little bit more depth. And so to me, I really appreciate that because it has an extra dimension that gives it a nice round base. And so anyway, that's kind of my favorite part. But I also say, here's my little caveat, is that I feel like it wouldn't be as much of my favorite part if it wasn't for how nice the driving part before it was. Like, so the pop, the bring down from what was like elevated energy is what makes it be as effective as it is. So it's like they kind of have to have that pendulum swing.
Right.
That's one of my favorite, and I like you use that as the exit for the song.
It's like a day and night cycle. So like during the day, you're still thinking about it, but it's way more like upbeat and in and out of your head. At the switch, it's like now I'm just at night sitting here in my own thoughts. The first part of that, there's like not many words, but there's like a perpetual like fine, because it's like I'm almost trying to calm myself down so I can like legitimately think this through, because I was just so jumbled in my own head. It's just giving like that point where you give yourself a chance to breathe so that you can genuinely think about how you're feeling instead of all of the things previous in your day affecting how you were feeling. Because I feel like that's a thing that happens a lot, is like you'll go through the day, you'll have a stressful day, and then you'll think differently about something like during that stressful day than you would at night when you're like calmed down, So it's kind of just the outwardness of having to go through your day. No matter what's going on, the life doesn't stop going through your day. That's kind of like the beginning part. It's like, wake up, time to go outside, do your job, and blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't mean you don't have personal life things going on. But now that I've done my job, had my day, now I'm just at home sitting in a studio thinking about my thoughts, which I have not all the time in the world, but more than enough time to think about. So it's like giving yourself a chance to breathe out all of the things previous in the day, so you can focus on how you are emotionally. I'm glad that it comes off that way, as like a breath or like a chance to like breathe and think about everything that was just said. And like, it's funny because both my parents are pastors. A lot of the time, I used to have to talk in church. One of the things that they would always tell me was that there's a lot of old people in this audience, and if you talk too fast, like it takes them like almost a couple seconds to catch up to what you're saying. So they're like, slow down, so that people can really understand what you're saying. So I'd talk and I'd put a lot of pauses just so that people could understand. And I think that kind of bleeds into my music in the sense of like, in the first part you're vibing, and then I want people to stop and actually think about like the fact that what I'm saying, it means something. Because if I just make it upbeat the whole time, it just sounds like a happy, pop song. But when I slow it down, it makes people be like, wait, whoa, yeah, we're really okay. All right, we're really there.
This is something I wanted to bring up earlier, but I might as well bring it up now, is that I like lyrically and also how you arranged it, using the word fine throughout has a different feel all the way through. And I want to say, when you're using it in the chorus, it does feel like you're using it as a way to convince yourself,
yes.
And you repeat it repeat it so many times that it's just like, it's fine for now, it's fine for now. And even I want to say, and maybe this is how I hear it, not necessarily maybe how you intend it, but I'm just like, each time that you say it, and then the way that it sounds like you're using, is that auto-tune or vocoder? Okay. It feels more and more frustrated. Like the punch on it feels more like you're disgusted with it by the time you finish the last fine for now. Like you're just sick of it.
Because if you think about it, it's like, how many times does somebody ask you through your day. When you see them, they're like, hey, how you doing? And you're like, oh, I'm fine, and then like at a point, you're just sick of you even saying that you're fine. So you're like, I'm fine, it's good. It's kind of how many times can you tell yourself in a day that you're fine, knowing that you're not fine? So it slowly builds up. You're not. The more times you lie, the more times you think about how, you're fine. It's fine. You're fine.
Now I want to ask you, what is your favorite part of the song?
Oh, I really like that harmony I hit in the very last couple words of the song, where it's like, it's fine what I want, because it's like, I feel like that like is encompassing the whole song. Whether I say it or not, the whole song is about is fine what I want. Fine's cool, and you can live your life being fine, but you could also be great. You can live your life being great. So do I want to be fine and comfortable, or do I want to maybe push and be slightly uncomfortable so that I can be great instead of just fine for now? The ending part where I put the harmony there, because I'm just like, this is probably the most important words of the whole thing is fine what I want. Because, you tell yourself everything's fine, it's fine. And then you're like, but like, is that really what I want? Like, this fine, is this what this fine I'm describing is that what I really want, or do I want to be good?
Hopefully I'm remembering the same spot that you're mentioning, but I remember, when you're talking about that division of like being fine and getting what you want, I feel like harmony wise, there's a spot where you're singing a line, and also the auto-tune feels like it's doing this slide away from that note. And I don't know, I was thinking about that. It's like kind of it's a really cool sound, but yeah, I'm kind of feeling like that's the division of the two, the two intentions.
Fun fact, if you want to use auto-tune and have it really work and really make your voice sound full, and you sing slightly off, like slightly flat or slightly sharp, and for some reason when the auto-tune is like, I gotta correct that, it like sounds way cooler and way more like intentionality in doing it, instead of like what I don't want to happen is for someone to think that I'm not using it, and then all of a sudden you hear one note and you're like, oh wait, they have auto-tune. Like, I want the purpose of it for people to know off rip, like there's auto-tune, and it means something,
Yeah. Auto-tune, to me, it's not just to be a pitch correction. It's there to be a sound. It's supposed to be an effect. I think you use it really effectively and well.
Thank you.
So it sounds great.
I also like to emote while I sing. I think that's like super important. I do a lot of like growls and like a lot of like, I'm not happy while I'm singing it.
Right.
Or well, I'm in real life at that moment I'm happy. But like at the idea behind the song, I like auto-tune because it gives me the freedom to actually feel, because I'm not the strongest singer. I can hit notes, and I can sing my little heart out, but the auto-tune gives me the freedom to actually feel what I'm saying instead of worrying about hitting the notes correctly, which, again, as a producer, the most important thing for me is just, do I feel something from it? And it doesn't have to be like a real feeling, do I just feel happy? Do I feel like I want to bounce my head, But specifically, at least in my music, I like to truly put how I'm feeling and emphasize specific words. And so to do that with the auto-tune, I'm able to growl but still sustain my note or add more oomph to it without losing the note.
Instead of just being accurate, it's honest.
Yes.
I know that one impression of auto-tune is like that's to cheat or whatever, but you're also using it as a way of letting your performance be genuine, and then have the auto-tune accentuate what gets created from that. So I think that, I guess I was just doing a clarify to make sure I was understanding correctly, because I must admit I've never messed around with auto-tune.
It's a great time.
It's probably because my current DAW is older than...
What is it?
Well, not older than you, but...
looks like a Windows XP kind of deal.
Oh, well, it might actually, I think my operating system is XP, but I'm also not connected to the internet, so
you don't even need that.
Yeah. Right. So, but no, this is Sonar 8.5. So like way, like, okay, this program's probably 18 years old. but it works. So, you know, I'm able to do it. But I mean,
it gets the job, so.
My computer is on its last legs anyway. I mean, I'm down to my last 80 gig on the drive. And so I'm like, what am I going to do? So I feel a lot of pain and suffering in my future trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things I have that it works. So I'm afraid of switching up the tool.
Not working. Yeah, that's very fair. That's very fair.
Yeah. My last question in this section is, why did you pick this song as the song you wanted to talk about today?
I don't know. I just really like that song. It's one of my favorite songs. My favorite song I've ever made. It hasn't been released yet, but it exists. It'll be in an album I'm putting out next year. But this is my second favorite song that I've ever made because it feels very true to myself. I feel like it feels very true to a lot of people's feelings, of the sense of like, we're all just going through motions because life never stops. No matter how hard you are, you feel emotionally like you just have to, it's fine for now. Sometimes you have to tell yourself that to get through the day. And I also just really love the instrumental for it as well. Like, it's very, I don't know, like I said, one of my favorite songs that I've ever made. I'm also putting together a band right now for myself, you know, as you all can hear. And if you go and listen to the full album, it's a lot of instrumental. Like, again, I don't know how to play a guitar. If you asked me to play any song that wasn't my own song on guitar, I would have no clue, because I just felt around to, you know, see what sounds good. But I'm putting a band together, and we're learning a lot of my first album, because I just want the oomph to it, you know. I go to a lot of open mics, or I go to a lot of events, and I'll plug my phone in or send my songs to a DJ, and it just, you know, nothing sounds as full as all of the instruments actually being there. I don't know, it's just something I've always wanted to do too. And so I'm trying to promote this album a bit more again, even though it's like 2 or 3 projects ago for me, because 1, it's still my favorite project I've made, and 2, hopefully by the start of next year, if not a couple months in, I'll have a live set to be able to perform most of these songs with an actual band. It'll be a very big mixture of just me like live producing, but also having drums and a guitar. I'll be playing bass and singing and stuff, so we'll see how I add it on. I don't know, maybe I'll get a pianist one day. But also it's hard to organize people, you know, that all have lives, because everybody's out there. Like, it's fine for now, so, you know, it's hard to sometimes reach people, but I'm excited. It's gonna be good. I'll probably end up putting an acoustic version out of the already acoustic album that I put out, but because everything sounds different, right? You know, I'm playing it on different types of guitars, and different people are playing it. So it's funny because I'm trying to teach them how to play it, but I made it 3 years ago, you know, maybe more. So I'm like trying to remember it, but also I'm like, you know, I don't know. I felt it. Like, I don't remember how I did it quite, but I'm trying to, you know, and so it all sounds different, because I told them all like pretty fast, I don't need it to all sound the same. I could just listen to Spotify if I went to a show and you sounded exactly like, you know, what sounds Spotify. So I do want it to be, you know, slightly different. I think that everybody should go listen to the whole project and then listen one more time, because I always think that the first listen is for the vibe check, and the second listen is where you actually understand what's going on. So I'd say go ahead and listen, and especially if you're going through some rough times. If you ever had somebody that you felt was the right person for you, but the timing just did not line up correctly, you know, whatever that be, I think you should go listen.
Champagne is Also a Band podcast is proud to support Jubilee Cafe. Jubilee Cafe is a free weekly meal program at Community United Church of Christ, 805 South 6th Street in Champaign, Illinois. Jubilee Cafe serves a home-cooked meal from 5 to 6:30 each Monday. Their mission is to feed hungry people by cooking healthy, delicious meals and by serving their guests restaurant-style with servers waiting on tables. Jubilee Cafe is open to anyone who cares to eat with them. Because food insecurity among students is so high, they serve students as well as others in and around the Champaign-Urbana community who struggle with hunger. Meals are free to all and will be served each Monday evening, located in the accessible lower level of the building at 6th and Daniel Streets in Champaign. For more information on the meal or how to volunteer, go to the Jubilee Cafe CUCC Facebook page or email them at jubilee.cafe@community-ucc.org. That's jubilee.cafe@community-ucc.org. Welcome back. So, Mousepad, what is your favorite Champaign-Urbana venue?
My favorite Champaign-Urbana venue, I'm obligated to say Canopy Club, but I really, really love how I sound just about every time when we do a show at Rose Bowl. I've only done like 2 or 3 there, but we just did the Pygmalion Festival recently, and our show that we did was at Rose Bowl. I don't think I've ever done a show there and been like, I can't hear myself, or like, this isn't hitting the way that it's supposed to hit, you know. So I always feel like my sound is really good there, but Canopy is just like family. When I go in there, I know everybody. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Just because we're there so often, and they do give us a lot of opportunities, and they give, you know, rap a lot of opportunities. They're probably still one of the only venues that truly puts on rap or hip-hop full shows. You know, a lot of other venues will do rap and hip-hop, but they'll sprinkle it in, you know, like even house shows, which I also like doing, but they'll sprinkle in like 1 or 2 rappers, but the rest is like bands or singer-songwriter kind of things. But Canopy is like one of the only places still in Champaign that lets you put on like a full rap show. I've seen some other people do it, but it's not as common, for sure.
It's like this sense of they're actually going in full commitment,
Yeah.
you know? Like they're following through with committing to it.
Which is part of the reason why I want to put together a band from earlier, because I'm like, you know, most people don't accept if you're just going to go up there and rap and sing over, you know, an instrumental. They like bands. So I'm like, I just need to get a band, and then I can play wherever, because, you know, they're not looking at me as a rapper anymore. They're looking at me as a, you know, a band. People appreciate artistry, you know, and there's artistry in making the song, but performing it with just, you know, a backing. Some people like, do not get me wrong, I'll go to a concert any day for, you know, a rapper that's just rapping over instrumental, but there's something about the artistry and the, like, I don't know, people want to be impressed as well. Like the music is so oversaturated that if you're not impressing, then, you know, they'll just forget when you leave, you know. And so it's like when you show up and you have, you know, a band and you're all like tight playing together and, you know, all that, people will assume that you know more about music than you actually do just because you're playing it live.
Well, and you could make the argument that people feel like their dollar is going further because they get to see more people. No, I'm just...
Well, yeah. Instead of 1, you get 4.
Yeah. You know, my question also is, what do you think makes a good music scene?
Collaboration. And I say that a lot. And that's, you know, a lot of the reason why I do Half House is because I don't want to be just by myself making music. Like, it's so much more boring. I would not know nearly as much as what I know right now if I didn't get to troubleshoot and learn by working with other people, recording other people, you know, hearing what they say, you know, on songs, hearing how blah, blah, blah. And so I think collaboration is a huge aspect, because why create several different good things when you can just come together and create something that's great and timeless? Because there's more brains on it. Unfortunately, especially in the rap community, there's a lot of ego involved, right? You want to be the best. It's just you, yourself, because that's kind of how the genre is set up to be at this point, unfortunately. Because it used to be rap groups, you know, but now it's slowly getting more and more into just people wanting to make their own music, their own way, how they want to make it, and adding another source in kind of ruins what they were going for sometimes. So I just think collaboration is so key in a good music scene. Collaboration and understanding, because it's also like most of the time people aren't going to put out their greatest thing, like their greatest verse with you. So it's like understanding in the sense of like we're all just trying to grow. Like nobody's great, nobody's perfect, nobody out here is blown up, you know, hundreds of thousands of listeners a month. So we're all just kind of in the same boat. And once people realize that, there's more collaboration and there's more understanding with it.
One of the things in collaboration in general, like when you can create music, even if you're making it by yourself, if you collaborate with others in terms of even just criticism, or that you are no longer just creating music based upon your standards, but you're making it meet several people's standards. It's like that. I don't know if accountability is the right word, but your creation then isn't just accountable to you. It's accountable to a bunch of people that are lending their opinion and just basically makes everything better.
You will grow exponentially faster by just putting out music and getting feedback from it. Because, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people gatekeep their music because, to me, the second you show your song to another person, it's already passed your vibe test. You know, you might have a couple things that you know you need to fix, but it's already passed your vibe check. You're just seeing if your vibe check is as accurate as somebody else's. You know, a lot of the time, somebody will be really excited about a song, play it, and the other person just, for some reason, isn't as excited as them, and then they'll just sit on it for, like, however long until they forget that person wasn't as excited as they were. And I'm like, just put out the music. Get a couple ears that you trust on it, you know, because it's always nice to have more ears on it. But then just put out your music. I put something on my Instagram story about that the other day. I was like artists need to be able to feel free to be seen trying. You know, a lot of people think that what they have to put out is perfect, but you have to allow yourself to try and be seen trying, because that's the journey, right? The journey is really important. I had a lot of people swipe up on that story and were like, thank you, I needed to hear that. And I was like, yeah, just put your freaking music out.
You've been creating music for some time. And you've had experience.
A couple days, really.
Just last week.
Just started.
Here's my quest is I want to encourage more people to just send it. Put that music out. You know, you make a good point of like, it shouldn't just be the most perfect thing. It should be, this is how I'm getting to the point at which I want to be, you know?
Perfect music is also super boring. In my opinion.
Right.
I think that, you know, especially if you go listen to the project that we were just talking about, I have a lot of like mistakes that I just chose to not fix, because I was like, I remember exactly what I was feeling and why that mistake even happened, because, you know, I was like getting choked up or something, and so like my voice cracked slightly, or I didn't maybe quite get to the note, but there's like real emotion behind what I did. So it's like, I don't know, it depends on what your opinion of perfect is. You know, if perfect is zero mistakes, everything is clean, everything cuts together, you lose a lot of emotion in trying to make something perfect. Like, I have people who will record their verse with me, and I'm like, this sounds great. And then like 2 weeks later, they'll be like, I want to do a re-record. And they're like, it just doesn't sound the same. Like, I don't know. I'm like, because you're not in the same headspace. You're not feeling the same thing you were feeling when you were just writing it and rapping it in front of me, you know, 2 weeks ago. It's hard to replace some of the times that you record and have the emotion in there. So some of the most beautiful music is in the like imperfection and when you're like really in it. You know, if you go see any big band live, yeah, maybe their recordings are perfect, but like live, there's just emotion behind it. There's different variables, and so that's why it sounds better. That's why people like it more and can really resonate, because it's live. The feeling is all in there.
What do you think, you know, the Champaign-Urbana music scene could do better?
Collaborate. Yeah, I just said that, but for seriously, just collaborate. Like, everybody's so stuck in their own path, and it's like all these paths can just literally cross. You just have to reach out to people that you want to work with. I mean, I think everything is attainable. You just have to try, and the worst that's going to happen is it doesn't work, and then you go back to doing exactly what you were doing. I don't know, there's been a lot of things where I'm like, oh, I probably can't do that, and then I'm like, yeah, but I'll try, you know, why not? And then it works. So it's like, just collaborate and try things seriously. It's also just really hard to get people to come out to shows in this town. Now, I don't know what to do to fix that besides be a bigger artist or, you know, promote your music with like real money or something. But it's like, it's hard to get people to come out, and it's no one's fault. It's just, you know, the way Champaign is that on most weekends, we have a lot of venues in town. So on most weekends, it's very spread out. You know, some people play more than one show on a weekend or something. And so the amount of people at shows just sort of like could be higher. So it's not even the artist's fault. People go out and support local music. Don't wait for your favorite singer, songwriter, rapper from out of town to come in town to go outside. Like, there's amazing music out there in this town. You just have to go, you know, check it out. You might find your new favorite artist out there. Collaboration and attendance. Seriously.
Champaign is also a band podcast is proud to support Exile on Main Street. Exile on Main Street, located in the old train station building at 100 North Chestnut Street in downtown Champaign, has been helping to build record collections since 2004. Carrying a wide array of new and used LPs, CDs, and video games. Exile on Main Street has something for just about any music enthusiast and old-school gaming devotee. Exile also hosts regular free live music shows on its stage, so be sure to check out their Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for the up-to-date details on the next upcoming event. Open 7 days a week, they can be reached by phone at 217-398-MAIN. That's 217-398-6246. Welcome back. So, Mousepad, what is your favorite non-musical thing or things?
I pretty much make music, I bartend, and I play video games, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I like to play like competitive video games because it gets my competitiveness out in a form that isn't like with people I actually know. So I also just like to go to shows, you know, whether I'm performing or not. I just like to go out, and I can tell it means a lot to people when you're able to go out and just support them in their endeavors, because I want the same support. So I also just, even if I don't have a show, I like to just kind of go hop around and, you know, see who's performing and, you know, try to make a little bit more connections. But pretty much what I do is wake up, music, take a nap, music, and then maybe some more music. And then at nighttime, when I'm done with all my sessions and stuff like that for the day, I just play, you know, some video games for a little bit of time.
I mean, you said competitive video games. Like what video games are...
Like Rocket League or like 2K24 NBA. I've been playing a lot recently. You know, some nice GTA online. I don't know. Just like games that make me get my blood pumping a little bit, you know. Not as casual, which I do like casual games, but I don't know. I like a little bit of competitiveness, a little bit of sweat.
And do you do that online competitive, or do you have people over and you play? Oh, okay.
But we also do, you know, we'll have people over and do it. But I like games that like to make me think, too. Like strategy games, things like that.
Huh. What's your favorite strategy game?
Right now, my favorite strategy game is Mechabellum. It's like a newer game. It's kind of like chess. You like put you have like a bunch of different troop types, and then you can like, you get like a certain amount of money per turn that exponentially grows. And then you like want to put out like your troops to like match up in a line and counter what your opponent's putting out. And then, you know, it's all like automated fighting. So you just like put it out and then you just let them go to work. And, you know, there's a strategy to it, because it's like, you know, it's whatever's closest to them that they target kind of thing. So like spacing is a huge thing in it too. I don't know. It really makes me think. That's probably my favorite right now. Otherwise, a more popular one, we play Civilization a lot, which is also pretty fun strategy game. We've been playing Civilization 6, Civ 6. And that game is basically like you start with, you know, one city, and then you try to build your cities. You try to, there's like several different ways you can win in the game. You can win by like conquering everybody, just like fighting them. And, you know, you can also win with like a culture victory by like reaching a certain amount of culture before anybody else. You can also win with science. You can win with religion. You can win with a lot of different things in it.
You can win with textiles.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you can win with whatever you want, really, in the game.
So it's so different than, you know, Pac-Man. You know, I mean, there's some strategy to that, but it's so different.
I can play some mean Pac-Man too.
Yeah.
You ever been out and seen those like Pac-Man like 1v1v1v1 machines? It's like four-player pat. It's so cool. If you ever, I don't think we have one in Champaign, but if I go to like Chicago or I go to like St. Louis or something, I can find a good arcade bar that has it in it, and it's so fun.
So it's like 4-person Pac-Man?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work?
It's like you're all on a map and you can eat each other. It's kind of like last person standing. You can eat each other, but there's also like ghosts too that you have to avoid.
Right.
But like when you get the little circle, that makes it so you can eat the ghost. You can also eat the other players. I don't know. It's very interesting. It's fun though.
it sounds fun, but I'm trying to picture like the normal game board, but it's probably a lot larger.
Oh yeah,
like okay.
It's like it's huge, and it's like a table in front of you, and you're just like looking down at the screen. But it's like it's like a big table that has Pac-Man on it.
But can you see the other characters if they're not within like your?
Yeah, no, it's like
area?
One big screen that everybody's on that everyone's looking at. Like not everybody has their own. It's like one ginormous screen.
Okay. I thought perhaps it was like you could only see like a certain amount of space. So like all of a sudden, if you're going up, and then all of a sudden, another
you
person
could see
can come
everything.
in,
That would be hard.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Now I gotta find one of those. Mousepad, thank you for being on the show and like talking about your song "Fine for Now" and talking about the music scene and what we can do better, and then your favorite non-musical things. So I really appreciate you coming all the way out here and chatting with me.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a blast. I think this is my first like interview that I didn't either talk about Half House the whole time, or like didn't have like 2 or 3 other artists with me that also had. So it was just fun to be able to talk about my music. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you for listening to Champagne is Also a Band podcast. This is Mousepad reminding you, great music is out there, so go find it where you live.
That's a wrap.
Champagne is also a band.
You almost have an NPR voice. It's so good.
Studio South Bigger on the inside.
It's like, okay, now I sing.